clearly, if all of the shale resources that are being talked about globally, including the 1,200 trillion cubic feet in China, significant hundreds of trillions of cubic feet in Europe, in Eastern Europe, if those were all developed, obviously it would affect trade flows. We've seen that in microcosm in this country, where what used to be almost purely south to north flows have now got much more complex as different geographies come in. So clearly, the same thing would happen internationally. There would obviously be geopolitical consequences in terms of where gas is flowing. But I think what you'd see is then, and I would say we don't know. I certainly don't know whether or not what's called a truly global market will develop in the sense of oil, because it's always going to be the case that the cost of moving gas relative to its intrinsic value is high, whereas for oil, it's extremely small. So there's a fundamental difference that just comes from physics as to why the markets will never be the same in my view. I do want to caution, however, that even if this plays out in terms of, let's say, the United States, let's say imports going to a very, very low level, or zero for that matter, I just want to emphasize that does not eliminate security concerns around oil, because it is a global market, so there's price sensitivity, but B, as long as our closest allies remain very dependent upon energy imports, to the extent to which that constrains their freedom of action in foreign policy, it can constrain our freedom of action. So we still have a very strong interest in stable, well-functioning global markets.